Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Quarbit, and I'll be your host today for Europa Universalis 4. Welcome back for the 5th part of our Identity Crisis series, where last time we played as Mazandaran and Silly. If you're new to this series, then I recommend going back and watching the older ones, though it's not necessary to continue. And if you've been following along so far and enjoying the series, then leaving a like and subscribing would be much appreciated. Also, because this is the 5th episode and we'll be finishing off the 10th nation today, at the end of this episode I'll be going back and checking on each of the nations to see how they've been doing. But without any further ado, let's continue and see where we go from here. Alright, let's see what tag we get this time. Hosokawa. Okay. Alright, so very interesting. We're actually one of the 2 nations in Japan right now. It looks like we're still a daimyo, it appears. Yep, we're still a daimyo. However, we're very rebellious against our overlord Ashikaga here. We also seem to be rather strong, and if I can somehow manage to beat our overlord here, then that would be pretty great. Now, the worst part about this really is that we actually don't have a high enough tech if we want to destroy our overlord here. So we're going to want to spawn 2 institutions, and I don't know exactly how we're going to do that within 10 years. But we have a very nice capital, which can probably fit 1 more institution in it. And then I'm likely going to move the capital somewhere adjacent or somewhere nearby to try and dev the other institution. It looks like somehow the AI by itself has already almost developed the Renaissance without any, player interference, which I think is really cool. I think it's one of those rare opportunities where the AI decides to just randomly develop its capital because it has nothing else to spend its points on. It's not like we have anything super complex going on right now, so let's simply begin and see what we can get done. At the very least, I'm very happy that we have a very strong nation to begin with. Of course, we're going to be resisting annexation from our overlord here. We're going to try and get our independence. And if we can, we might actually even try and go after the capital here. Maybe become the shogun ourselves, or simply just become independent and crush Ashikaga. First of all, we're going to have to deal with a lot of our rebels. For some reason, we have been mistreating our entire country. We've also taken administrative and defensive. It seems like the AI really likes to take administrative for some reason, despite the fact that it's not a very good first idea group. Alright, I think we're also going to give the estates some things, because we want to have 2 estates at 70 or greater loyalty. So to start with that, we're going to be giving a couple of things to the clergy and the bushi, I think. I could actually end up giving them land rights. Of course, I'd have to take back land later, but at least I'll get them to an equilibrium of 65%, and then I can use some in the diet to make them happier. Okay, so since we're already really close to getting ourselves the Renaissance, I think I'm just going to finish it off here real quick. A little bit of development and tax. And hopefully it'll start spreading around. Alright, this war is done, so I can decide to take a little bit of land. I'm wondering, though, if I just want to wait for it to take up, and then I can summon the diet after completing this mission. I think I'll do that. And if I grab this army tradition, that'll actually give me the Bushido code, which will let us travel down our mission tree a little bit. It says 2 estates must have 70 or greater loyalty. However, I think what they meant was 60 or greater loyalty. Because, yeah, I don't have 2 estates at 70% or greater loyalty. Should probably report this bug. That's definitely not right. But hey, I'll take it. Don't have too much inflation, but I think I'm going to issue the new Eri Zeni Rei anyway, so... I'm just going to go ahead and claim Kyoto if they don't mind, and... Bizen. Apparently we have corruption, which I'm just going to get rid of immediately. We're starting wars with Ming already? Really? Because I wasn't prepared for that. I mean, really, the best opportunity if we were to rebel would be when we're at war with Korea as well. Oh, Ming's exploding, that's why they attacked Korea. Yeah, that's gotta be the reason why. Well, I'm not actually going to fight, so... I'm going to be turning down all of these maintenances. Okay, since we don't have a lot of time to actually wait for this institution to spread because we're so late, I'm actually going to take out the necessary loans to embrace it. Unfortunately, it's a lot of loans, so now we have the Renaissance in Japan. I think we're going to try and spawn colonialism as well. So to do that, I'm actually going to move my capital over here to Owari. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait for this war with Korea to be done. I wonder what Ashikaga's doing. I think this is supposed to be an offensive war, but they're not doing anything. I don't think Ashikaga really stands a chance. Yeah, he can't even get his navy in there, so... Like, we don't even have the right number of boats to make this happen. I don't know what he was thinking. If Ming ever drops too low, he can white piece Ming. Ooh, gold will now be produced in Iwami? God damn. Okay. I respect that. That's pretty good. I think I'm actually going to go with this gossip. I could use the Diplo points. Okay, well now I am starting to get the points, and I'm a little upset that I can't even spend them. Ah, there we go. Turns out we actually did manage to white piece Ming. Alright, we might see something happen then. It would be a tough fight though. Since I'm not using my ships, Ashikaga only has 5 galleys. I'm not going to help them for sure, because that would make them stronger, and I don't want them to be stronger. So this war's been going on for about 3 years. Can we maybe stop that, perhaps? Maybe we could, you know, not be at war? Be a lot cooler? It's not like I can peace out. I just want to move my capital. I mean, if all else fails, I'm just going to have to, you know, spawn it in my capital. It's just going to be really, really expensive. I really hope I don't have to do that. We only have about 4 years left, so come on, it's not worth it anymore. I could dev the institution now. I really could. I just want to move my capital, man. The war score is not going to change at this point. Like, it's over, it's done. This is as good as it's going to get. Man, I would really love if I could, you know, be out of this war. Be really cool if I could do that. Okay, if all else fails, I will still dev it in my capital, because at this point, we do have the entrepot here. Don't think we're going to be moving the capital very soon. Renaissance Farmlands, entrepot, capital city. I think whatever cost it's going to be increased by, whatever, you know, just, it is what it is. We're just going to take it, because I can't move my capital, and I want to spawn this institution, so... yeah, that's sort of what we're getting at this point. Oh, this is painful. Oh, that's so painful. Okay, there it is. Colonialism. It's beautiful. And yet so painful at the same time. After I finish deving, immediately after, he pieces out. This game hates me. Okay, so he tacked up all the way to 11, and I'm not going to get there today, but at the very least, we're going to modernize the institutions of Japan. Why does he have 7 cavalry? No one should ever have 7 cavalry unless you have cavalry combat ability. Which you don't. You have infantry combat ability. What is this? Alright, 1 year left to go. We're gonna try really hard to get ourselves this institution. Actually, no, this isn't gonna work at all. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna go over here. I'm going to click this. I'm going to spam the dev over here so I can make a ton of money. And we're going to use that money to make this AI a little bit more powerful, and hopefully he can, you know, get more money and stuff while we're gone. But with that, it's time to take out more loans, and just give him the institution. This will only cost 4 loans, which is a little better. There we go. Oh man, we finally modernized the institutions here. But hey, there it is. We didn't manage to throw off the problems of Ashikaga here, but we did manage to develop the institutions and make ourselves economically pretty powerful. We now make about as much money as Bengal. I consider that pretty decent. Of course, it's mostly from that gold mine event, so I wouldn't consider it, you know, mostly my work, but for good luck, we'll just slap down an extra production thing, and we're gonna call it a day. Okay, so it doesn't look like we got much done, but I mean, we kind of did. 2 institutions over here in East Asia. I consider that a pretty massive dub in comparison to what the AI would usually be doing right about now. Because we're still super rebellious, I have confidence in this AI that he's going to be able to tech up and do some pretty great things. Hopefully he doesn't just get killed or annexed or whatever. Hopefully he makes some good friends like Korea or like Ainu, or I don't know, does something with his life. That's going to be it for Hosokawa today. Let's move on to our next nation. And we get Najd. Oh, dear God, please. Huh. Okay. So Najd is not looking like they're in such a good position. Let's be straight up with this. They're not looking so good. We have 0 legitimacy, minus 67 prestige. At least we're not the target of the war here. That doesn't make things much better. The Najd start at the beginning of the game is pretty terrible. I can really only imagine how much worse it's gotten from there. Hey, if there's one thing, we have the Renaissance. I'll take it. As for colonialism, yeah, that's only in like Europe, Japan, and the Caspian at this point. If there's anything I really want to do right now, it's leave this war. So the main goal isn't actually to win this war, it's basically survive. We've also, for some reason, like sold our crown land or something, which I don't know why the AI keeps doing that, it's actually really annoying. And our loyalty equilibriums here are just absolutely garbage, like there's nothing good about anything that I'm seeing here. I really don't know how we got into this situation, and I know even less about how to fix it. I think one of the biggest issues we have is that most of the people we've rivaled are allied to strong allies, so we're gonna have to unrival those guys, rival new ones, and then form some decent alliances. Looks like we must have had some provinces over here. Yeah, apparently we had some land that was taken from us, so that's impressive, but also, we're not getting that back. Or at least I could try to, but I don't think it would work. Okay, we finished off this whole thing. What's happened? Oh god. Yeah, even worse. So we had to end up giving up this province, which is a fort, so that's not good. At that rate, I would have preferred to give up this province. But there's no time to really worry about it. You know what? At least we have no loans. We can start with that. Also, our emir is absolutely terrible, like literally garbage, so we need a lot of prestige. How much? Well, 20 years worth of prestige if I want to abdicate my king. He definitely needs to be abdicated because our heir is so much better than he is. But in this case, I'm likely to give him leaderships that hopefully he dies, because we're not getting that prestige on time. Apparently we've already recently added Dawasir as a rival actually, so we can't even change that to try and ally Hormuz. So it turns out the nations I've built here have become my own enemy, and I guess that was kind of the point of the series, but it doesn't feel very nice. Apparently we are allied with the Mamluks, I didn't even notice, but you know what? I'll take anything at this point. The Ottomans actually haven't been doing much over here yet, so hopefully, as long as the Mamluks aren't killed, we can stay alive defensively at least. Now, of course, I'm gonna have to end up, oh geez man, we used to be so big, we used to be really big, I wonder what happened. Like, if I could have just had my capital here, in like the drylands, oh, my life would have been so much nicer. Okay, I think I'm gonna try and use a jam and Fars here, see if I can make them friendlier towards me. As well as Sistan, just try and get a bunch of allies to start with. Okay, the way I see it, we're going to have to A, make allies, B, develop the next institution, and C, form an army. I don't think modernizing the tax is really gonna be a thing we can do, but we're gonna see. Alright, Fars will actually royal marry us, and the Timurids are royal marriage as well, which is kind of weird. We're just gonna go with Fars, I think. Apparently our trust is really low. Oh, I really wonder what happened here, to be honest. They deeply distrust us. These must have been recent wars actually, because they just cored these, so... Man, I'm starting to wonder about the journey of what happened around here. I'm looking for the lore. And then I can try moving my capital to here, although... Yeah, I mean, the dev cost kinda hurts. Oh hey, we can actually ally Sistan. You know what? I'll take it, man. But we can do a couple of corruption things. It's not a lot of money, but it's the best we can do for now. Alright, we've gotten the army back together. That's something. I'll move my capital over to here. I'll try to start deving, although it's not going to be very easy. Yeah, that increased cost is immediately apparent. The arid and the coastal desert, oh, that's painful. We have to try and at least make some sort of an economy, then maybe some people will like us, and we can have good friends. In any case, I don't want to just give up just because we managed to roll on possibly one of the worst nations in the game. I'd rather at least give it a shot. And with a little bit of extra money, I would like to hire someone. Let's go with this national tax guy. I wonder if a gem's actually gonna fall here. Ah, man, I don't even think we'll be able to finish deving this by this point. Oh, and that's terrifying. So, Hormuz just took more land, and I can't really do anything. Yeah, no, I don't think we'll be able to do much in this run. If anything, he'll be a sacrificial piece, trying to develop colonialism for the rest of Arabia. Who knows, maybe a miracle will happen, and the AI will figure something out. If only we could ally a gem, then maybe they would help us with Shamar. Or maybe, just maybe, the AI will be able to use the Mamluk's favors to try and get his land from Shamar back. Just a little bit of particularism, we should be just fine against it. There we go. Okay, yeah, just sort of, judging by how things are going, doesn't look like we'll even be able to spawn this institution. Okay, it's October of 43. Yeah, we're not gonna get this institution, but maybe the real institution was, I don't know, the debt we've made along the way or something. I don't know. Unfortunately, that's really all we have for Najd. We're just gonna let these 2 months pass by. Hey, we might have successful Najdi separatists. I doubt pretty much nothing more than that specifically in this world right now, but we can at least try and give that a shot. We can go ahead and ally a jam. Let's finish up these 2 months. And there we have it. The 1st of January 1544 with a very, very sad looking Najd. But it is what it is, and we're going to be taking a look at all the nations that we've played so far. So just give me a second, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. Here we are at the 1544 not start date, exactly 100 years after we began with our very first nation of Chichimeca. Looks like Chichimeca has been through quite a lot actually. It appears they actually lost a lot of their land a little while back, but then they got it back, which is kind of cool. They didn't end up deving too much unless, you know, one of the gold mines might have depleted, we're not exactly sure. Point situation is pretty good. He probably should dev, but he's an AI, native AI. I don't really know if they realize that they should be deving. But I guess he's not going to, especially with that increased cost for being a vassal as well. Because yes, apparently he's been vassalized. He's been a vassal of Teotihuacan for a little while apparently, who has a lot of vassals and for some reason is refusing to start his first reform. It's kind of weird. He has like a lot of vassals. He really could do a reform right now, but I guess he's deciding not to for whatever reason. So yeah, there's really not much to this nation. This is sort of like how everything turned out for him. So let's move on to the next one, Nepal. Okay, so this is a pretty interesting Nepal here. They've taken what we gave them and expanded quite a lot. It looks like he's been converting a little bit to Vajrayana, which is cool. His army is not great. It could be a little larger. He's taken out approximately 3 loans for whatever reason, I'm not even sure. He's working with 1 advisor and not more for some reason. Also, we have a scholar and strict king, which is one of the best combinations you can even get in the game. I can say that his land management has not been great. I think he's revoked some things from the Jains. I almost always give something to the Jains, so he definitely revoked it for whatever reason. I don't really know why. The economy is doing okay. He's full stated everything here, which is good. That's exactly what I would do as well. He needs to get rid of this corruption, though. He definitely don't want to have that around for too long. He's allied to Jaunpur and a couple of other nations, so strong alliances. If I were him, I would definitely be going after more of Bengal, which it looks like he's been doing. That's a really, really good idea, because he can move his node downstream to here, which looks like he did. Okay, a little preemptive maybe. I mean, what else can I say? He's been doing okay. He's at 152 dev. Could definitely be a little better. Next move, I would definitely move my capital to, like, here and dev it, or here and dev it. Looks like he has created a vassal, Kuman, over here. He's gotten his land back over here, which he once lost. And you know, overall, he could be doing worse. We can say that for certain. He could be doing worse. Alright, let's move on to our next nation, Hormuz. Okay, now Hormuz has been doing absolutely fantastic since we left him off here. As you can see, he has a massive navy, 4 heavies. If you can see here, he has 146 dev, which actually isn't amazing, but he has been doing some great stuff with it. I think it's mainly because he makes an absolutely disgusting amount of money in this node here that he's able to afford all the things he has, including all 3 of these advisors here. He's making 25 ducats a month. That is impressive for his current development. If you want to check the income comparisons here, he's actually doing pretty well. He's doing about as well as Karakoyunlu and Holland even, which is pretty impressive. Of course, at this point, I would go after Najd to take this province and then dev the rest of colonialism out of it, but don't know if he's going to do that or not. He's been doing some okay stuff. I don't like how the AI just abuses the Dhimmi. It makes me really annoyed, actually. And so yeah, there's not much else to say. Let's move on to the next tag, Castile. So the thing about Castile here is they managed to just fuck up everything. Not only did they lose the personal union with Portugal, but on top of that, like, they didn't even pursue to try and get it back. They also let Tunis come in here and just take these, which means he can't form Spain. Didn't even stop that, so now Tunis is massive. very, very thick Tunis. He did manage to go and invade southern Italy here. He started with Salento and Naples, I remember that one time, and he must have declared on the Papal State, who for some reason loves him now. So that's impressive, at least. He did full state the whole thing. Did he accept the culture? He did accept the culture, okay. So it's kind of impressive, he did something. Castile also decided to colonize the entire West Indies, which is good for them. Castile did go down here to the Cape, so good on them for that. They might do some East Coast things, but they really stunted their own growth at the beginning of the game, and I tried to help them, but it looks like even I couldn't fix the AI's mistakes here. So unfortunate for Castile. But we're gonna move on to our next nation, which I'm pretty sure was actually Yemen. So how's Yemen doing? Well, kind of doing some crazy things. They have a pretty strong navy, like very strong navy actually, 6 heavies. Their army's off doing something, I'm sure. I don't even know where they are. Oh, invading Ethiopia. Okay, that works. So we have a total of 24,000 men, 31 ships. Economy is pretty decent, and they are making approximately 9 ducats off of trade here. They're also not using these 2 merchants, which, pro tip, even if you don't have much to use your merchants on, it's kind of just better to put them somewhere anyway. Move his capital back, actually. That's weird. I moved it here and I dev'd it, but then he moved the capital back to Adam, which is really weird. I don't know why he would decide to do that. I would have moved it maybe somewhere here, like Zabid, but yeah, kind of weird. I don't know why he did that. Yeah, he's abusing the dhimmi, of course. I would have thought he might ally the Ottomans. He still could, actually. I'm not going to do it for him, but he definitely could. But yeah, we're just going to move on to the next nation. Now, Guj over here is, well, they've sort of been down bad the entire time. There's not much to say here. He hasn't done anything, like literally anything. He hasn't dev'd once since I left, I don't think. He moved his capital back to the glacier like an absolute idiot. Like, why would you move it back to glacial? It's only -1 for attackers compared to -2. The defensiveness isn't even there in glacial. And the mountains is only a 35% dev cost penalty compared to 50. There's really not much else to say about Guj here. They didn't do literally anything since we left, so let's move on to the next nation, which happened to be Scilly. Or I was gonna swap to Scilly, but then the game told me that Scilly no longer exists, and wouldn't you know it, yeah, they're gone. Very unfortunate. We tried really hard to actually give them something, but nope. This is cursed and I really don't like it. We're just gonna move on, I think. So Mazandaran over here, you can tell this is already a tragedy. They lost the capital, which was a massive dev. This is the birthplace of colonialism in Asia. They lost the capital, they lost this fort, they've had to move their capital back to here, and I don't think they're gonna really get too far. Fortunately, we did manage to spawn colonialism before they died, so that's good. It looks like their economy's pretty terrible. I don't know why they're on war taxes, I'm not going to change it, but for some reason they're still on war taxes. So let's move on to the next tag, which we had earlier today, Hosokawa. So Hosokawa, we left you 10 years ago, let's see what you did. So, they managed to have only 4 loans, that's great, they've been paying them off, they've been making a lot of money, they're decreasing their inflation. They haven't been messing up the estates thus far, which is really good. And yeah, they're up to date with the institution, which is great. So it looks like Japan is going to be the only one with this for a while, unless they start to invade Korea. Because Korea is not friendly, so it's not going to spread to them. But on the bright side, he's been starting to modernize his tech a little bit. I'm hoping he's going to catch up in military tech and destroy Ashikaga, maybe become the shogunate, something like that. I mean, there's not really much difference between now and 10 years ago. So that's going to be the end of the review of those nations, because, you know, we ended off with Najd anyway. So, thank you guys for watching thus far. I'll be back with another episode soon, and as always, have a fantastic day. I would like to give a quick thank you to all of the patrons for the month of January, especially those we have starting in the general tier: Quiet Guy, Brennan Arsenault, Ben Greenhagen, Torvald, Farron, Brumant, Natsuki, and Dire Avenger. Those we have in the Prince tier: Snow Raven and Rockbox 2020. In the King tier, we have Chewy Shoot. In the Elector tier, we have TFLJ Martis. And in the Conqueror of Worlds tier, we have The Watcher. Thank you guys so much for your pledges, it really does mean a lot to me, and I can't possibly thank you enough.